Welcome back to the ABCs of RPGs, where we teach you the basics of tabletop role-playing games. My name is Spencer Reese. I'm going to be the game mother for the evening, and we are playing the Alien tabletop role-playing game. This is actually our second session of the starter set scenario, Chariot of the Gods. Okay, it cuts it out. But anyways, you get what I'm saying. So, I'm joined by my players. Dalton.
Hi, everybody. My name's Dalton. I use he, him pronouns, and I've been portraying Lyron Cham. He's just a little regular trucker guy. He likes working on heavy machinery. He likes his crew, and he wants to make sure everybody gets back home safe at the end of the day, with a paycheck in their pockets. Christian, why don't you introduce yourself next?
Hello, my name is Christian. My pronouns are he, him as well. I am playing the character John J. Wilson, who is a company agent and is working together with this motley crew of various characters. We've now kind of boarded a ship that has been stranded and getting into all kinds of shenanigans. So longtime fan of Alien, and this RPG has not let me down yet. So it's been pretty great. And Justin, introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, I'm Justin. I also use he, him pronouns. I am playing the character I am the captain. Yeah. Captain Miller.
You're the captain now.
I am the captain. I'm playing Vanessa Miller, who's the captain, the no-nonsense captain of the ship who wants to accomplish the mission and get out of there because we have... The plans have changed, and I don't like that. I don't like change. I don't like deviations from what we're supposed to be doing, but we got to finish up the mission and get home, but now things are going terribly wrong. My ship's about to blow up.
Yeah, I think
I hate everything.
we're all having pretty bad.
We're having a bad day. It's a real bad day.
Spencer, why don't you finish up this introduction thing and we can recap everybody on what happened last time.
Yeah, absolutely. So, few things. We talked about a lot of like how to play the game in the last session. We started doing skill checks, and we got our first little taste of combat. I do want to reiterate just stress and panic, because this is something that is a core mechanic of the game, right? A double-edged sword when we're playing. So keep this in mind. I'll also try to keep this in mind, but just know that your stress level goes up when certain conditions are met. So that can be including pushing a skill roll, which we haven't done too much because we've had a good amount of successes. When you fire a burst of full auto fire, which I don't think we have any fully automatic weapons, so I don't think that will be something that will come up in the starter set. But you suffer one or more points of damage. That causes your stress level to go up. You go without sleep, food, or water. You perform a coup de grace, which is essentially killing another human being.
You repronounce that for me?
No.
Coup de grace.
Coup de grace. Hey, you don't make fun of someone.
That coup de grace.
It's a coup de grace. It's like Inglourious Bastards. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. I took a little bit of Italian in high school, so I'll be doing the talking on this mission.
A scientist in your team fails to use the analysis talent, which none of you are scientists, so that's not going to come up in here as well. A member of your own crew attacks you. A person nearby is revealed to be an android, and you encounter certain creatures or locations as determined by the scenario or the GM, which has already happened, because at the end of the last scenario, we had something especially frightening happen. So I'll go ahead. Let's do a recap of what happened.
Wait, before we go, I gotta say it's gonna it's like a worm in my brain. Okay, the other problem with that thing, him saying buongiorno, it's evening, and he should be saying buonasera, and that was gonna piss me off if I didn't say anything.
It just adds to the scene.
It just, I mean, yes, it does. Like, it's really funny, but you kind of have to speak Italian to know this. But, yeah.
Oh, it's like the difference of saying Ohio gozaimasu compared to konbanwa, like in Japanese.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Does it change after 1 o'clock?
Yeah. Especially if it's like evening compared to night. Like if it's nighttime, it's oyasumi nasai, which is like I think go to bed.
Oyasumi is good night. Konbanwa is like good evening. Konnichiwa is good morning. Ohio gozaimasu is technically could be any part of the day as long as you're greeting your coworkers at the start of your shift. Because your day doesn't actually start until you start to labor.
Learning.
Well, everybody knows that. I think I like to think now that as all of you got out of the cryo chambers, you all said Ohio gozaimasu to each other as you started your workday. Oh,
why not?
No, I'm pretty sure this is like a Firefly where it's like the West and China merged, right? Is that what this alien is like?
In Firefly, it was China.
In Firefly, it was U.S. and China.
Mm-hmm.
And all of their swears were Chinese words. In case you didn't know that in Firefly.
Yes, because the censors were like, "Well, that's just nonsense gibberish.
That's nonsense gibberish.
That's not real words. You're just making up words to curse. That's fine.
Yeah,
it's not. They're not swears if they're in nonsense languages.
Yeah, it's an
like
alien
Chinese.
Language. Yeah,
but I don't fucking speak moon speak or whatever they're doing.
Yeah, it's crazy moon speak.
Oh, guys. Okay, one last side tangent before we actually get into this. I did learn from Hank Green today that if a moon has a moon, it is technically called a moon.
That's awesome.
A moon?
A moon. All one
moon,
word. All like.
I'm gonna go to the planet, then I'm gonna go to the moon, real fuel up, so that way I can go to the moon later.
Are there?
Because space is stupid.
Are there like instances
space makes
of
you
this?
talk like an idiot.
Did Hank Green like mention like, or has this been like observed?
I no, it was a YouTube short, so
okay.
it was just he just said the factoid, and then I moved on. Okay. So
cool.
Oh,
the moon. Gotta go to the moon. Do some mining on the moon.
Yeah. Well,
speaking of
to catch everybody up last time, we can kind of take some turns and reiterate what happened last time. I mean, last time we woke up from our cryo sleep, and were quickly informed that we were rerouted. We were meant to go to some random planet for some job, but we woke up and we were told that we were rerouted to some other entirely different thing, not even nearby, to investigate some derelict ship or whatever. We didn't really get much details, except for Christian's character got some more details because he was our company rep and was able to talk to the ship AI and get the rundown. So Christian, do you want to talk a little bit about what happened next?
Yeah, so so we basically after we talked with Mother on the sorry, were you talking about the derelict ship or the our ship specifically?
On our ship. So I just kind of mentioned that we woke up, we were meant to be going somewhere, we were told we were rerouted somewhere else to investigate.
Yeah. I apologize. I was totally Googling if any of our
Googling
planets in our solar systems had any moons. Sorry.
Jupiter would probably be the only one that would have them if they did have them.
Yeah, there is.
They've got like 27 moons, so one of them might have their own moon.
Saturn has 146 actually, so
146.
Fucking
Wow,
apparently
that's
confirmed.
great.
Jupiter is 95. This is the next. Anyway, sorry. So,
Your guys' ship is the
Yes.
Montero. The derelict ship
Mhm.
that you're encountering is called the Cronus. But
Now we landed
Yeah.
our ship on that ship, so now there's a ship.
yeah,
True.
science. That's just how space works. Anyways, Christian, as you're saying.
So yeah, basically, Mother gave us information about a ship that was pinging nearby that had been lost for like 73 years, I believe it was, and that was the Cronus, and it was specifically a scientific vessel, and there had been, around, I believe, 20 individuals that are a part of the crew of that ship. So, being that we didn't know if there were anybody staying alive, in cryo or anything else on that ship, we went down and docked and entered the ship, and what we found was something totally terrifying and new to our eyes, and that was, not only were people alive, but we also found alien life form bursting out of one of the scientists' heads. Thankfully, we dispatched that alien pretty quickly, but the terror did not end there at all. We are then informed that there is essentially a virus transferred in the air through spores, and to be immune to this and not have that happen to ourselves, we need to take this antidote that one of the scientists is offering to us, but is is not coming forth with many other details other than that, suspiciously. At this point, we find that our pilot, who has stayed back on the ship, our Montero, has alerted us that there is a meltdown, a core reactor meltdown or something like that. I don't know if I'm getting the specifics right there, but basically the ship is about to blow up.
Yep.
And that is where we ended last session. Essentially, that's the cliff notes of that. So tension has stayed pretty high here for us, and yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see how we figure this out.
Absolutely. Static over the comm channel as it, I would like to imagine that it appeared on all of your comm channels as you kind of like listened in, but specifically it was Davis, the pilot, reaching out to Officer Captain Miller and letting her know that Mother is sounding the alarm, saying that the displacement drive has a malfunction and cascade failure is imminent. Fusion reactor overload in T-minus 10 minutes. So, this is a good time to check in on everybody, because I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page of like who has what equipment and what our stress levels are. Because I believe I said this at the end of the last episode, but your stress level should have increased from hearing the news that the Montero is in a fission reactor overload. So, how is everybody looking right now? What is your current equipment, and how is your stress level doing?
Yeah, it's your Cham. He's at 1 stress. I think like over time he had like gotten 2, but he said like a little prayer or something at the end of the last session
Use your signature
on
item.
his rosary to kind of like decrease his stress level. So he's at 1 stress. Equipment wise, he's still wearing that Mark 50 compression suit, and it still has a good amount of air left in it. He's got a bolt gun and a cutting torch, I think, in addition to the compression suit. That's what I've got, at least.
Perfect.
and 1 story point.
Yeah. So basically 1 free reroll. Or not reroll, sorry, 1 free success.
Yeah.
So. Christian, what's
Nice.
Wilson looking like?
Wilson, I'm just doing all right. Currently, stress level is 2, so not terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't lost any HP so far. Combat was quick and decisive
Yeah.
thus far. But I have 1 story point as well. I believe we were all awarded that for our completion of our own personal objectives.
Mhm.
Yeah, which are secret to everybody, but
yeah.
basically run around and checked, and everybody was fulfilling their agendas. So,
Which is great. I am currently holding. So we all have our suits, our compression suits with air supply on them. And I'm also holding the motion tracker because I believe that was given to me, and my incinerator was taken away from me, given to an NPC, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Yep.
I believe that was Rye, right? That the incinerator was given to? The other member of your crew, the roughneck who joined you on the ship?
I think so.
She's kind of falling behind at the tail end on deck B
I
currently.
believe our officer commanded that. So.
Yeah.
Ryan looks
but
like
yeah,
the kid from Stranger Things.
What's that?
We gave your weapon to somebody who has more qualification of wielding it. I gave your weapon to the soldier. I took it away from the bureaucrat and gave it to the soldier, which I feel makes sense.
Fair enough. I'll stay in the back. But yeah, so my air and power are both at 3, so not dangerously low, but we've expended a couple of both of those. So yeah, how about you, Captain? My captain.
The Mark 50 compression suit, and I have a sidearm.
Yeah.
And my stress level is 2. It was 3, but I spent that turn rubbing my jacket patch to calm me down.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Great.
Nice.
Yeah. So alarms, when Davis kind of like rings into you each time, you hear the alarms of Mother ringing throughout the ship as she talks to the captain over the comms. So clearly things are not going well. You hear that it's an overload in T-minus 10 minutes. Now, unfortunately, as I think many of you already kind of concluded between last session and this session, what we are in is currently what's called stealth mode in Alien, which means you can move. It's played out in turns where you guys go and take a turn and do something, which is regulated to about you moving about 2 zones on the map and exploring them. But if you want to spend a significant amount of time, you have to spend another turn in that zone, such as using like accessing a data terminal or something of that sort, right? And how turns are broken down in stealth mode is between 5 to 10 minutes. So if we look at this as the minimal amount of time that Alien has kind of said turns are supposed to go, you have about 2 turns before your ship explodes from what Mother's commanded. Now, I believe what happened was the first thing that Captain Miller said to Davis was, "Hey, can you shut it down?" And she said that Mother isn't responding and she can't. So, I think that's where we're picking up at the beginning of this session and what you guys want to do. Keep in mind, because these are like 5 to 10 minute increments where we have each of these turn, you can move those 2 kind of zones and have full-on conversations. I don't think that's kind of it, like limited, like how we would think of in D&D, right, where you only have 6 seconds of speech. You have a prolonged period of time to actively discuss and talk about things. So I think that's where we're kind of leaving off. So if you guys are ready, go ahead and let's begin. What is everyone wanting to do in this moment.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I hear that the ship is about to blow. I say, Officer Miller, is that true? Is the ship really done for? I mean, I don't think we can make it back in time to do anything about it.
We've got. It's going to take 10 minutes just to get there. No, I think I commanded the pilot to get off the ship and meet us down at Junction B1, so that'll be easiest. Get into their suit and
Did we leave
get
them
down
a
to
suit?
Junction B1. Huh?
Did we leave them a suit?
There should be a suit.
Spencer?
Yeah, can we?
Let me double check real quick.
I think
believe
so.
there
I think
is.
there were 5 suits, and there was 5
I think
of
there
us.
was. Yes, I think there was a suit for each of you. So yes, so she can. Davis, the pilot, can definitely do that. So you said, Davis, go get in your suit and make your way down to like the umbilical connection, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what she
yeah.
said? Okay.
She's gonna get through the umbilical. The umbilical's connected to A1, so she's just gonna keep going down to get to Junction B1, and there's more weapons in Vestibule 1, so she is gonna do that.
Yeah.
She's gonna get in her suit, get the hell out of there, and get strapped.
Yeah. All right, she's going to start doing that. So, what is everybody else doing? Are you staying in your current zone? Are you going to start making your way to one of the junctions to get up to deck A and start heading that way, or what's kind of the plan? Obviously, the connection to deck A you can reach by junction B2 or junction B1 up to your north. Junction B1 will lead straight to where the airlock is, where it's connective. But yeah.
How far? How long do we have before the we need to jettison our ship out into space, and we need enough time before that explosion is the radius of that explosion is outside of where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to do that soon. Do we know? You know, I guess I'm talking to. Do I have comms?
Yeah,
to
I think
the ship
everybody
as well?
has
Everybody has.
comms that they can.
And is that a risk? Like, is this issue that you're describing with the ship like a big explosion issue, or is it just it stops working kind of issue, Spencer?
Are you asking Davis? She can radio back to you and let you know. So.
Sure. I mean, like, I as a human being don't know kind of the lingo. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm asking
a fusion reactor overload is huge. It's what happens at the end of the first Alien movie. So it like destroyed the entire ship. So yes, it's a very big explosion.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we go. The Cronus goes down with the Montero if it is anywhere near us. How much time do we have? Like, this is kind of what I'm like relaying back to. Was it Davis?
Davis, yeah, the pilot. She radios back. She goes, yeah. I don't think it'll destroy the Cronus, but it certainly will leave a lasting impression. We need to get this thing away from here.
Wow.
Is the Cronus engines, they're not working? You can't fly it away?
No, it's been derelict for fucking 100 years or whatever.
Shit.
The best chance we have is just jettisoning our ship off as quickly as possible.
You hear
tethering yourself on and letting go.
You hear a deep sigh, just like a come from Davis over the comms. She radios back to you, and she says, she talks directly to the captain once again and goes, "Captain, I can set it to autopilot. I can get it away from here. I think I can get on the Daisy and fly down while it's set to autopilot. as long as the umbilical disconnects okay.
Yeah, make it so.
We're gonna lose a lot of money from this.
Well, we either die or we lose a lot of money. Besides,
if I can start moving some gas onto the Daisy, I'll try.
Okay.
If we can get back with what we found, money won't be a problem.
Bingo.
So
we found some crazy stuff down here. We're gonna be fucking famous.
You don't even understand yet, Davis.
So the comms go silent. The alarm system, you can't hear it anymore as Davis cuts her comm feed to go start what she told you, programming the ship for autopilot and heading towards the Daisy, which you guys all remember. The Daisy is like a heavy lifting platform, like a very flat kind of like cargo transport ship. You guys didn't have your I think it was your helium gas that was degrading over time or transforming. You didn't have that loaded onto the ship at the point in time, but you still were it was helium 3. It was decaying into the profitable helium 3 from tritium, mispronounce more things, gas. So comms go silent, and that's what you hear of Davis as she runs off. What's the next course of action? I like to think that in this moment, most of the crew of the Cronus are kind of looking back and forth at each other with worried looks. And Rye, your other crew member, I like to think Cham is closest to her at this moment. And she kind of looks, she looks like she's visibly sweating, worried about the cargo being lost aboard the Montero. And you see her start to kind of like pace back and forth in this moment.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, Rye. If we can get some of this information, some of these samples back, this is worth way more than anything we had on that ship.
She scratches the back of her neck and then just goes, "But that's why we came out here. Why are we even doing this right now?
To get paid, remember?
We don't know how much we're going to get paid. All we have is Wilson vouching for this."
Well, I mean, if you would like to be on the ship that's about to explode, you're more than welcome to go get on it.
Cham, I'm not saying that's what I want to do. I'm just, God! And she just kicks like a probably like a wall or like some kind of like metal, like a scrap of something on the ground, just in her frustration at the situation.
Makes sense.
So,
how many? I'm having a hard time reading some of the symbols on this map. It's a little JPEG'd up.
Yeah, I understand that. What do you have questions about?
Which, like, I think I can't tell which things are escape pods and which things aren't.
So, at first glance, it doesn't seem like there are any escape pods on the ship. I
mean, I definitely see symbols that look like the escape pod symbol.
Yeah. Let's see here.
And vestibule 1 and 2.
At least. And I mean, I see some other symbols that could be the escape pod symbol, but I can't tell.
Let's see here.
Those are probably
look similar. I think those are intercoms. Yeah.
The escape pod?
There's definitely escape pods in vestibule 1 and 2. And I think the other thing that looks like it could be escape pods is an intercom symbol.
Yeah. So
there's 4 escape pods, 3 weapons pods, and then 3 more suits.
Assuming that they are there.
Yeah, that's true. It's assuming that they're still there.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, you have the crew of the Cronus near you. Would you like to ask them any questions?
Sure, I'll ask whoever seems like the most in charge what kind of escape pods there may be on this ship, or if they've been used already.
Well, Johns is the current captain. As much as his shaky voice has kind of like let you know.
Okay, I ask him then.
Okay. John goes, yeah, most of the crew ejected when we separated the science module as well. I don't think we have any more escape pods left.
Okay.
Your ship is really about to explode. We could try to get the Cronus into working repair.
That, I believe, is our only option at this point. If there's no escape pods and our ship is exploding with no hope for it, then we have to get this ship functioning.
Wait, is there another ship down in the vehicle bay for planetary landing? This ship seems like it'd be too big to take down to the planet itself. Is there another ship that we could get on and get off this one?
No, it's the Cronus did land on the surface. It has a large vehicle bay, but we just have, I believe, a couple ATVs left in there. Nothing spacefaring.
Great.
Do you remember why this ship was derelict and just dead in the water?
He turns first to probably Flynn. So Flynn probably who was in the med lab, kind of rejoins everybody. He first turns to Flynn, who kind of like looks down in very quickly, as almost as if he's kind of like ashamed or scared, and then turns to all of you and goes, So we set down an LV-113, and it was just some ancient ruins. They had artifacts that the science team wanted. So we started bringing them back on, and we think, and he points within the med lab. He points at kind of like a jar, which seems to have these like fungal spores, almost like spheric kind of like black things that like have like these like opening bulb at the top of it. They release these motes. We think they infected our crew. But as soon as we saw them changing in morphing, that's when Cooper and Flynn came up with this inoculation, this cure to prevent it. It's supposed to take that thing that grew inside Cooper and just make it inert, just an inert tumor.
Okay.
A tumor.
So back to the question that I asked, the very clear question that I asked about the ship and why isn't it working?
Well,
I knew about the fungus and stuff. You told us about that.
They were already on the ship. When they transformed, they became stronger, became warped. We had to fight them off and survive. But there's probably still a few on here.
So are you saying that the ship is probably fine? Like, I'm talking about the ship mechanically.
Yeah. I mean, it's roughed up, yes, but I think we can fix it. It will take time. I think the Kama Ray needs some repairs. We just need to get the engines back up online, and of course the air scrubbers. He coughs a little bit as you guys remember that the air that is currently flowing through the ship is heavily more heavy carbon dioxide than it is oxygen at this point in time.
Yep. Okay. So, first, then I guess we try to fix the air.
Before you start to go off, he goes, I think, and then Flynn kind of goes, you all need to be inoculated. You can't just start wandering the ship. More of those motes might be around.
Yes, we went over this, Doc, and you were very reluctant to give us any more information. If you could maybe like show us like any proof of anything, that would be very helpful.
This is a good point in time for you guys, if you would like. It seems that Flynn doesn't want to reveal any more information about this cure or inoculation, as most of them are kind of putting it. But if you would like to pressure him into revealing more information, you can make a manipulation roll. So this is under a lot of the different skills, and specifically, if you go to manipulation, you can have plus or minuses depending on the situation that you guys kind of find yourself in. So if you go to manipulation, obviously you can just make like the like normal roll. But if you're looking at the core rulebook on page 71, it gives a list of situations where you can either get a +1 modification to your roll or a -1. So for example, you'll get a +1 to your manipulation roll if you have more people on your side. What you ask for doesn't cost your opponent anything. Your opponent has suffered damage. You have helped your opponent previously. You present your case very well, as determined by me. Some of the things that modify the roll by -1 include your opponent has more people on their side. You may ask for something valuable or dangerous, or you ask for something valuable or dangerous. Your opponent has nothing to gain by helping you. You have trouble understanding each other, or you're talking via radio or shouting at a distance. So, yeah.
Mm.
I walk near Wilson and nudge him.
Yeah. I think we're all in agreement here, right? So I kind of like turn around, like I'm acknowledging Cham and what Cham said, because Wilson said that like briefly before the same thing, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on? Like, you need to give us more information. So I'm saying, Wilson turns around to everybody and, it's like, or to our crew, and, says, I think we're all in agreement here that we need to have more information about what this is before we take it. We don't know enough to take it, but it also, because we don't know enough about it, makes it potentially valuable. So I'm not opposed to keeping this with us, but I'm not for taking. So, do you guys all agree with me that we should have more information here from the doc, and then we can decide from there, Doc?
I second.
That sounds pretty reasonable to me.
Yeah. You see nods of approval also from Rye, your other crew member, as she kind of nods very furiously, just kind of like up and down as looking at all of you. And as you turn your attention to the other members of the Cronus, John's the current captain, and Clayton and Reed, you see John's turn to Clayton, who gives a nod, who then John's turns to Reed, who seems to be just staring off into the distance, and then turns back to all of you and gives a nod.
Great.
So yeah, if you're attempting a manipulation roll right now, Christian, I would say you definitely have one more people on your side, so that'd be a +1. You're not asking for something that doesn't cost your opponent anything, so that's 2. He hasn't suffered damage, and you haven't helped him previously, but you present your case very well, so that's already sitting at a +3, I would say. I would say, though, that, let's see here. Out of all the things that could be a -1, I am going to say you're asking for something valuable or dangerous. So I'm going to just -1, and then you have a +2 to this manipulation roll on top of whatever other bonuses you get. So I would say gather up your pool of dice, both your stress and whatever your manipulation adds up to, and add +2 to it.
So when it asks for dice to add or subtract, I have to put like an actual +2, right?
That's a good question. Are you trying to roll from the sheet?
Imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if that works.
Hopefully.
Okay.
1, 2. Looks like it worked on my end. Did it have all the dice added up total together correctly?
I think so. I don't know.
There's a lot of dice, so.
I have a 5 in empathy, but a 3 in manipulation, and then we add 2 to that.
I think so. That sounds right.
Yeah. Looks good to me. Yeah,
Okay.
and then your stress level is 2. So
Yeah,
looks
five
like
empathy,
correct.
3 manipulation.
Yeah, because it'd be
8.
10 and then the 2 stress dice, so 12. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So you see the look on Finn's face. He's actually like looking down at you, but as you make your case, he like looks up, fear in his eyes. But then he relays to you more information. He points at the urns that are in this med lab right now, and he goes, we think that these motes that made it onto the ship, the fungus, it's derived from this agent, this chemical agent, and he points to the urn. We think it's a biological weapon. In order to make something that prevented being infected by these motes, we had to use the agent. It's mostly safe. It's mostly safe.
Word mostly is doing a lot of work, Doctor.
All I can tell you is that if you don't take it, what happened to Cooper will happen to all of you if you're not careful.
And the word mostly implies danger that you know about.
I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but I mean, this is a dangerous new substance we're messing with. I'm pretty sure it's safe. It hasn't been tested very long.
Fine. Also, Christian, you rolled multiple successes, so you do get a bonus that you get to pick from.
Yeah. Yay!
Stunts!
Stunts. Get to stunting.
Yeah.
Stun it up.
So it's on page 70 of the core rule book. So
I was gonna say, I can't remember what those are.
Yeah, so for each success you roll in excess of what you need, which you just need 1 to be successful, you get to do one of these stunts. Your opponent does what you want without demanding a favor in return. Your opponent does more than what you ask for example, giving some useful piece of information. Details are up to the game master. Or your opponent is impressed by you and will try to help you later in some way. Details are up to the game master. So.
Okay. So at that point, I think I order. I'm sorry. What's his name again?
Flynn. Flynn is the medical or medic. Yeah.
Yes. So I at this point I order Flynn, and I say, at this at this point, we aren't going to take this. Period. This is end of discussion. But I want to hold on to it in case this is valuable for us and we absolutely need it in the future. So I command him basically to, like, put these samples in something safe in a container, along with the head burster. They obviously were working on in the med lab here as well.
Yeah.
I think we should store this in something safe, and I want you to carry this with you, and make sure that it is safe.
I'll do so. And you see him start to go over, grab like the jar that has one of the blood bursters in it, and kind of like put it in there and everything like that. And he closes the case with like the cure in it and such. And he goes, "So, none of you are going to take it?"
I don't feel comfortable with it, at least. I can't order anybody else to do, one thing or another, but I don't believe it's in our best interest and in the company's interest. Because the company's interest is making sure everybody is safe.
Has everybody else here taken it?
The crew members of the Cronus all nod, and including Rye, who lifts up her hand excitedly, kind of goes, "Yep, I took the one that Cooper had."
Okay. Do you have like any sort of like research notes or anything about this stuff?
I mean, if we make it to the science lab, I can pull up our data, but most of the research was in the science module before they ejected it.
Why don't we do a full scan of everybody that took it? How are they faring? Any abnormalities? Are we able to do that quickly?
Sure.
Do we hear the explosion of our ship by this point? I feel like we've taken like a little while doing this.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
That's true.
It feels like 10 minutes has gone by.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, as you are all discussing this, there's no viewpoints where you're at right now because you're kind of in the bows of the ship, so you can't really see what's going on with the Montero. You can't really see like what's going to happen, but if you wait a little bit, you might, and especially if you're kind of like waiting for an impact or an explosion, you might feel a little bit of a rumble underneath your feet, as the entire ship is shucking a little bit, which you can assume was probably your ship exploding at a distance far away from here. However, you hear no chatter on the comms from Davis.
Davis, come in.
Silence.
Check a couple more times. I'm guessing more silence.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we have to get to the vestibules. See if there's any weapons left there. If we're stuck on the ship with those things, we're going to need more than a couple flamethrowers and a pistol.
You hear Captain Johns of the Cronus kind of go, "Like I said, I think before everything went out, I think our comm array I know is down. The engines, I think we'll need to at least clean up the reactor room, but I think there might have been damage on the externally as well. The best thing to do is we might get a better read when we're back in the comm station, like the bridge."
All right.
I mean, the bridge.
The bridge is up toward the vestibules.
Yeah, the bridge
which is where we were going to go.
Where the weapons are, anyway.
Yeah.
Let's make our way there.
We could we can come back. If we have to hit the engine room, we'll have to come back to Junction B2 anyway. To go to the engine room. We can hit the science lab if we need to do the scans. All right. Everybody keep your suits on. Let's head to Junction B1.
Okay, who has the motion scanner to see if there's anything there, or
I
do you
do.
just want us to walk?
Wilson chimes
Wilson
in.
does. All right. Here we go.
All right. Are you using the comm scanner, or sorry, the motion detector right now?
So it can detect the current room and like the next room as well, right? Like two spaces.
Pull that back up.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's not super specific.
It's a 314 motion tracker or a 316?
314. It's not. It's good.
Long range and close quarters, which I believe is 3 rooms away. So let's see here. Yeah. So 3 rooms away. Okay. Yep. So I want to go ahead and flip it on and kind of like do like a 360, kind of see if you sense any movement on this.
So long range is up to 4 zones.
4 zones.
So that would be technically, basically as we see it, like, because a hallway is considered 1 zone, right?
Yeah. So the living area right here has a divider between it. If you see the little like thin line and everything, so the living area is technically 2 zones. But
okay. So that's what yeah, okay. That's fine. Yeah. So I would come to this edge since we're here already, and I'll use the motion tracker here to see if there's any life forms basically up to the vestibules. And let me get that pulled back up for rolling on the power supply.
Yep. Because is it down to 4 power supply right now?
It's down to 3.
Down to 3. Okay.
Yeah. So I shouldn't have to add anything, and we're good there, right?
Yep. So you didn't roll any ones, so it doesn't go down at all. So
yep. Perfect.
Yeah. As you whip out the motion detector, you do detect what seems to be very subtle movement. Like not a huge, like not a large thing. If you weren't the one who were using it before, it was Captain Miller. So yeah, so you see a very small movement, probably coming from the direction of the mess hall up here.
Got it. I've got movement in the mess hall. Is there any way we can close off the doors to the mess hall remotely? I kind of like talk back to the captain of this ship.
Yeah.
Behind me.
So you turn to Captain Johns, and he goes, "No, not that I know of."
Great. Well, how do you want to handle this, Captain?
You hear
over to Miller.
Reed, the Colonial Marine, who's back here, kind of just yell out, "Who the fuck cares? Let's just go in there and kill the things anyways." And
yeah, how much movement are we talking about here, Wilson?
Yeah, she hoists up her shotgun when she says this too.
How much movement are we talking about?
Not much movement, but it was a blip. You said it was 1, right, Spencer?
Yeah.
Yeah. We do have one blip, and it's not much movement. It could be just another headburster.
And as
Yeah.
you say that, Reed once again kind of goes, well, then I'm going in, and kind of like pushes past everyone and kind of pushes you aside as Reed starts to move ahead towards,
All right.
well, probably in this direction.
Stick together. Stick together. Stick together. It might be. What's her? It might be Davis, for all we know. Just stay frosty. Stick with her. Keep
How
up.
did Davis
and
get there already? That doesn't make any
Alright.
sense.
I run.
So we're all
Okay.
okay.
Seems like everybody's moving towards the mess hall.
No.
She's got the most firepower. I mean,
Are you able to
splitting
command
up.
her? Because she's not a part of our. I don't know
She
how that
is. I
ability
can't pull rank on her. She's not part of my.
works. Yeah.
She doesn't report to me.
That makes sense.
Command
And my
is
cat-
an empathy skill, but it's specifically like you can. Well, it does just say give orders. Oh, that's in combat. In combat, you can bark orders, and then for every success you roll, they get a +1 modification to their roll. It also does stop panic as well, and then officers. So if you're in command, to order other officers, and I would argue that it's technically Captain Johns who is above Reed on this ship. So
Yeah.
Well, they don't know what the fuck's going on, so maybe that should change.
All right. Stick together.
cool. So you guys are moving forward and just letting Reed take the lead on this.
Yeah, I guess so.
Perfect. Okay. Well, all right. So if we're gonna do that's one turn. Let's see here. That's probably another turn to get up there, I would imagine. So this is John's. Yeah, everybody's just kind of like following behind.
Is there? I
Sorry.
just need to remind myself. Is there anything we need to do every turn? Like any rolls we need to be making?
No. So essentially, with stealth mode active, it's great that you bring this up. So essentially, with stealth mode active, the reason why we keep it in turn mode is because I may be controlling other things on this map that are either passive or active. Active meaning like maybe they're hunting you down, and passive meaning that they're just waiting there and just hanging out. So depending on how you come across things. If it's passive, you might get the upper hand on them. If it's active, they might get the upper hand on you. And that can come across in a variety of different ways. The biggest thing this comes into contact with is sneak attacks. Sneak attacks. Now, you guys can do this too. That's the good thing to keep in mind, is you guys can also do sneak attacks. But sneak attacks is, I believe, yes. So it's on page 90 of the core rulebook, ambushes and sneak attacks. So if you catch somebody off aware, you have to first roll mobility versus your target's observation.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if the rolls are reversed, it goes like I would roll mobility versus your guys' observation. And all that does is that it also, if you want to attack in close combat, you have to move to engage range first and stuff like that. And they talk about, like, they give a little chart underneath there that sneak attack ambushes, like, depending on your range, it's going to have a modification on how well it does. If it's engaged, you're going to have a -2 for a sneak attack in ambush, compared to extreme is like a +3. But, like, all that means is that if you successfully, if the person who's initiating the sneak attack successfully gets it off, like, gets higher than the other person's roll, you get a free action, slow or fast, before you draw the initiative. And a sneak attack can't be blocked, and they're always done individually and by one attacker against one target. So, yeah. And then an ambush is just, like, I think, like, multiple people doing that, like, all at once and stuff. And it does change depending on, like if something moves into a zone to do a sneak attack compared to something like lying in wait for somebody to do a sneak attack. The bonuses, the modification is different. I believe if you're lying in wait, it is like a +2 to the modified roll instead of like a -2. which is what it normally is, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
To answer my question, though, yes, there
Yeah.
is. We do need to be rolling for air if you have your air,
if you have your
compression
suit
suit
on.
turned on.
Yeah.
Okay. Rolling for air. Rolling for air. Rolling for air. Cool. No
All right.
successes. Was that? I didn't roll any successes, but that means I didn't like lose any air either, right?
I believe for consuming like supplies, as long as you don't roll a 1, it's okay. It doesn't go down.
Yeah.
So
For every face hugger symbol you roll, which I believe is a 1, the supply is decreased by 1.
Yeah.
So if you don't roll any 1s, you don't lose any supply.
Cool. So yeah, so Reed makes it. It seems to be like right outside the mess hall door.
Yeah.
And you see Reed kind of like flash a look over to everybody who's kind of like following along, and she hefts up her shotgun as she's about to move in on the door.
Before we get into this next turn, though, I wanted to ask about the dude who stayed behind, if that was on purpose.
Oh, Flynn? No, he's following along.
Okay.
He's like trailing behind with like his jar and his giant medical briefcase. So his hands are full, but he has the things that Wilson told him to bring along.
Okay.
So, sorry. Yes. So he is following along.
Then, yeah, I guess we make it to the hallway outside of the mess hall.
Cool. So Reed is looking to all of you before she kicks down the door. So what is everybody else doing? Is everybody just allowing this to happen and just waiting for it, or
did she kick in the door?
she's going to? She's like getting ready to.
All right. Well, fucking. I pull out my gun, motion to it. Quiet. You know.
I'll position myself at the other door
Yeah.
and wait there.
All right. So Cham's at the other door. Is everybody else in the position that they want to be in? We can kind of move. Let's see here. So we can say, like this is like a pretty big hallway. I know our tokens are a little bit big, but we can kind of like say like maybe rise with Cham up there, like waiting and stuff like that, while everybody else is kind of in the back here. Christian and Justin, are your characters kind of in the position that they want to be, because they're already they're way down on the south side of the living area? Did they want to be up near any of the doors, or?
Yeah, I'm like right behind Johnson or whatever her name is,
Yeah.
the Marine. Okay.
Yeah, I'm staying behind. I have no weapons.
It's understandable.
Okay. Yeah, so is Flynn. Flynn's like hanging out back here just with his like medical supplies. Just like, all right, let's go. So Reed kind of like looks to probably Cham, Miller, and Rye as she kind of gives, like, she does a 2, 1, and then lifts up her foot and slams it in, kicks in the mess hall door, and points her shotgun, just quickly surveying the room. So she looks around, and so you guys, are you kicking the door? I assume you guys are also kicking in your door at the same time. So
yeah, I'll breach the northern door, I guess.
All right, let me go ahead and read you kind of the description of the mess hall. All right. Inside here, what food stores are ravaged. It looks like a pack of rabid raccoons has been through here. Most of the exposed food stores are rotten and covered in mold. Someone has been making origami animals out of metallic paper, setting them up around the room. While there's mold everywhere, it doesn't seem to be it just seems to be normal mold. Like just like food was left out and it got covered in mold, just like grown over there and everything like that. As you kind of like gaze around, I like to imagine like Reed's going there pointing her shotgun and stuff like that. How is everybody else going in? Do you also have like weapons drawn, like Captain Miller and Cham? I imagine Rye has the incinerator, so she has it like active and lit and kind of is pointing around. So
Yeah, and like as I enter with like the bolt gun aimed and ready.
yeah, okay. And then Justin, Captain Miller, doesn't she have something as well?
Just like a pistol.
Okay, cool. So, all right. Well, as you kind of gaze around, Reed like points and then stops in the corner, and as you kind of look, you see somebody down there. Let me go ahead and read this. In the corner of the room, you notice a silhouetted body slumped against the far wall. However, what seems to be different from this body compared to some of the other like Dr. Cooper's body and such like that is that it is not decayed or skeletal remains. This woman is whole. So she's just kind of slumped up against the wall, and every once in a while you'll see like her arm kind of like jump up and then just slowly fall again.
I will approach cautiously.
Yeah. You do so. She doesn't seem to react to you. Her arm just kind of like jitters every couple of moments.
I use the gun to just like poke at it.
Yeah. She kind of, so I like to think she's like sitting down slumped up against the wall. She kind of like slides over and just falls over. And as she slides, you notice that like she leaves a trail of a milky white substance across the wall as she falls down.
Oh, fucking replicants.
Yeah, all of you know that this milky white substance is android blood. As soon as she slumps over, Reed, who's currently like in the middle of like just busting out the door, coming in, adrenaline pumping and stuff like that, she goes, it's just fucking Ava. What the fuck? She starts breathing heavily and starts storming around the room, kicking over moldy food and stomping about.
Now, would this have been the movement that we saw earlier?
Probably.
Kind of tap her with the barrel of my gun.
Yeah. Anyway,
Hey.
we can.
You awake?
You call out to Ava, who's slumped over at the floor, and her arm still jitters every once in a while, but she does not respond to you in this moment. Yeah.
Any way to break it so it stops twitching?
You can definitely do that. You can check her. You start checking her out. Maybe like I think that's a Comtech. That'd be a skill. To either I think break her or if you wanted to attempt to fix her, I think you could do that. Yeah, Comtech. Programming androids, mainframes, and other types of advanced technology requires specialist knowledge. So that would be a Comtech role to try to program, repair, decrypt, or otherwise manipulate any type of computer. Well, I guess you could also just probably fire your gun at it.
I wasn't really saying fire my gun at it. I was more just like if there was a way to just stop the twitching, to stop the motion detector from going off in the future, which could involve just breaking the arm. If that's an option. It could be that.
Yeah, there's probably multiple options, right? You could do a Comtech. I think that could be a Comtech role where you disconnect something, or if you like specifically just destroy it. But yeah, so.
I mean, I'm not good at Comtech at all. So if nobody Miller, is it all right if I just snap the arm? Is that an option? I don't know how strong.
It's not like it's alive.
Replicant bones are. Like how strong are can a human being just like?
I would say so.
Okay.
Because in Alien we saw that just a few strong hits to the back of is it Rook or is that Romulus? I forget which one, but just a few strong hits to the back of the head, like disconnects the head, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say like a few good hits disconnects body parts of androids or synthetics pretty easily. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if this is a mess
I'll
hall,
help.
I'll find a knife and just like try to cut its at what would like tendons or wires or whatever in the arms until it stops twitching.
yeah. So just a second. So you start to approach Ava. So go ahead and start moving your character closer. However, I like to think at this point also, Justin, Captain Miller's probably in the room. Is it okay that I moved your character right there?
Yes,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
all in the
yeah.
room. I mean, Justin and I already described us approaching the body.
Yeah. Just making sure. So as you start to move forward to Ava, Reed points her shotgun at you, Cham, and says, "Stay away from her. Stay. You're probably infected right now. Back the fuck off."
Okay, she
What-
waited to do that until I was already like on top of her and poking her with the gun, or was she supposed to do that earlier?
No, that's Reed. That's not Ava. Reed is doing this, not the android.
Right, but
Yeah.
the Ree waited to freak out until I was already like poking poking it.
It was as you started to move towards like Ava and her. Yeah.
Okay, so that should have happened a while ago, right?
Oh, okay. So
Because
yeah.
like
So, yeah,
I
you're-
already like a while ago I had described walking up to it, poking it. You said it slumped over. Unless
Oh, I thought Reed did that. I'm sorry. So
Uh,
yeah. So basically, Reed is freaking out as you are getting closer to Ava.
okay, but so did I still at
Okay.
least visibly identify it as an android before I started to get closer?
Yeah, definitely, because you saw the milky white blood.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand because we were confused. So
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm back. You said that Ree, who is the Marine, approached
Yes.
and prodded the body until it flopped over.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
Reed already did all this. All right. Well, Reed, can you make it stop twitching?
Reed just continues to yell back at all of you. Get the fuck back! You're infected. I know you are.
All right. Calm down, Reed. We don't know anything right now. Let's settle down.
You see, Reed is sweating profusely. She scratches at the back of her neck and then quickly grabs back onto her shotgun a few different times. And you see, like, her head start to move in shape.
I shoot her in the head.
Let's get it out of the
Well,
way.
I don't think this is a sneak attack because you guys are Reed's pointing.
She's
a gun
not
at
expecting
you.
it.
She's pointing a gun at you.
Yeah. We're all pointing guns around everywhere.
I'm gonna say we should probably enter into combat now.
All right.
All right. So let's see here. Gosh, there's so much on here. See here. So we have Cham, Rye, Wilson. Okay.
Wilson.
Wilson.
Is this just for the people in the room?
No, I'm gonna put everybody in here. Because I
Okay.
have you on here as well. So I think what we did last time is we just rolled a d20, or sorry, we rolled a d10 and just kind of like put our numbers in that way. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Nope.
Huh.
Hey. So Cham and Reed will have a roll off.
Contest.
All right, so Cham goes first.
Not Cham and Reed. Miller and Reed, right?
Cham wrote a 1, and so did Reed.
What did they roll a 1 for?
Initiative.
For initiative.
Turn order.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let me roll a
All
d6
right, this
here.
is for Rye. 6. Okay.
I rolled a. Oh wait, is it a D10?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, oops. All right, hold on. I rolled the wrong thing. All right, I also rolled a 6. All right.
Christian, you rolled a 3. Okay. Whoops. There we go. And you also wrote a 6, Justin? All right.
Yeah.
We'll just say you go before Rye. So, all right. Well, so combat has started. So Cham is up first, and so I think as we described combat like we did before, it's you have a slow action and a fast action in combat.
Low
and-
goes first.
What's that?
Low goes first.
Yes, low goes first. So you are up first, Dalton. So basically, I like to think how this situation goes down is that you see Reed pointing the shotgun at all of you, sweating, and then you see her head start to kind of like morph, which is when probably you see Captain Miller pointing a gun and then goes to shoot, and for some reason you react the quickest and you're able to do something before everybody else. So what are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, if Captain Miller is going after it, I mean, and this seems like vaguely similar to the last time this happened, so I'll also shoot.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
If I click this button, what happens? I don't think I get any like bonuses or anything.
Let's see here. I think it depends on what weapon, but I would say like you could close the distance to engaged if you want to be engaged range compared to just short. Short is like within the same room, right? And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
medium is like a one room apart. So most of everybody here is in short range of each other and not engaged range. So
Yeah,
if
I'm
that's
just
fair to say. But I think you can just take a fast action to like move up to engaged range if you want to.
no, I don't need to do that.
Cool.
I can shoot her with the bolt gun at short range.
Then do it.
Is this room they're like I see rooms can be described as like cluttered or dark or cramped. Do any of
Yeah.
those apply?
I would say it's probably cluttered because there's food scraps all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And like mold and stuff. It's not like clearly laid out. Like you had to kind of like walk through here, kind of like a hoarder's room, like a hoard, just to kind of like move in and such. So I would say
There's
cluttered is accurate.
Probably a table and stuff on that table as
Yeah.
well and stuff. So it's not like super maneuverable.
Mm-hmm. So we get, what is it? Slow and fast actions. One slow
on
and one
page-
fast.
Yes, 88 of the core rulebook.
Where is aim?
Or two.
Aim is a fast action.
Yeah, I get that. I'm trying to find the rules for it.
Oh, okay.
Like if it just gives me a bonus die or something.
If you take your time to aim carefully before squeezing the trigger, you get +2 to your attack roll. Aiming is a fast action.
Okay.
If you do anything else except shoot, after you have aimed, your heart, if you are hurt, you lose the effect of aim.
Okay. So if we're cool with that, Spencer, I'll do fast action. I will bring up my bolt gun and aim it and fire. If that sounds good.
Yep, sounds good with me.
So that is one success. Yep, ranged combat 3 plus 2 plus stress. So I did get a success for 3 damage, I believe. 3 armor piercing damage if it matters.
It does not. She is not wearing armor, I don't believe. I can double check real quick. Read details. Let's see here. No. No armor wearing. How much damage was that again? I'm sorry, Dalton.
3.
3. Great. Her health is higher than that. It's actually at 5. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to keep that a secret or not from you guys. But yeah. So she takes the 3 damage, gets impaled a little bit, and then stares back at you and is ready to take her turn when it comes around. So yes, I like to think that it's a bolt gun, right? So it's mainly used for like heavy machinery or like repairs and stuff like that. So you're just kind of using it as maybe like an improvised weapon. So this bolt comes out and like sticks into her shoulder, blood splats up against like the back of the wall, and she maybe lets go of the shotgun a second, but then re-grips it back. So, but yeah, so I think that was a slow and a fast action because you took the aim action, correct?
That's correct.
Perfect. Well, I think after that it is gonna be Reed's turn. So what did aim do again, Dalton?
Aim is a fast action, and it adds 2 dice to the roll.
2 dice. Okay.
As long as it's a ranged weapon.
Got it.
And you can't do anything else, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. Well, Reed, in her panic, is gonna quickly grip her shotgun back around again, and even though Miller and Cham are pulling guns on her and shooting, Rye, I like to think maybe does the thing where she like kind of like starts to duck or kind of like react kind of negatively, like kind of like a little juke. So Reed turns to Rye and fires at her.
No!
Or attempts to.
That's
So
crazy.
so she has, let's see here, ranged combat. All right.
Right.
So it's agility plus 3. Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at all the stats right here. Okay. Yeah. So it's agility plus 3. So 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 dice to roll. And how much health does Rye have? Rye has 4 health. Okay. Well. So I said 76s. All right, let's see how this turns out.
Oh, she gonna die. Rat's gonna get laid out.
2, 3,
Probably.
4, 5, 6, 7. So 2 successes. So, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, she just killed Rat, huh?
So the shotgun has a base of 3 damage. And
Oh, no.
because Reed rolled an extra success, she gets to add 1 more damage on top of that, adding up to 4. And so what happens is you see Reed unload her shotgun into Rye after she makes kind of a quick, dark, like, twist of a movement, and Rye just takes it full on into the chest, hits up against the wall, and slumps down to the floor dead. Incinerator still turned on, rolls against the floor. And that's Reed's turn. And now it's Wilson's turn.
I'm gonna take the aim action and aim at her head.
All right.
And shoot her with my M4A3 service pistol.
Perfect.
Would it be beneficial to roll immediately, Spencer, for a critical injury here instead of waiting for their turn, potentially?
Oh, yeah. When is
Because
critical injury
that's
happen?
that's 0 health, right? She's that was all her hit HP, right?
I think Spencer is
That was
playing
all. That
her
was all
more
her HP.
as an
Yeah,
NPC, and that she's
I was
just
playing her
dead
as an
now.
NPC. Yeah.
She's just gonna be dead.
Right. But what I
She
mean
needs
is
to die,
that the critic. I mean, you still do that for the NPC, right?
Not that I'm aware of. I thought it was just
Okay.
player characters
Okay.
that the
Sure.
kind of like in D&D where like enemies don't make life or death saving throws for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I assumed. I guess I can go back and double check, but I was just gonna have since Rai got all of her health gone, I was just gonna say that Rai died.
Yeah, she died.
Okay.
She went
Yeah,
ahead
I guess
and died.
it's. I was confused. I guess this is only referring to broken NPCs because NPCs can be broken in the same ways as PCs, but it doesn't refer to that as far as critical injuries. So that's just a broken part. Okay.
Let's see. What page are you looking at again?
99.
99. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're separate things, so that's fair.
No.
Or, well, I don't know. It's a little weird.
Okay, so the GM can also decide that a minor NPC who is broken simply dies. We can say that since
that's
Rai was a part of your crew, she is not a minor NPC. So let's go ahead and see. Let's do that. Let's follow through. So basically, like you said, Christian, she reached 0 health, which means she's broken. If you are both, let's see. If you're both broken, let's see here. Let's see if you. Oh, sorry, hold on. As long as you still have health left, damage points, blah, blah, blah. Critical injuries represent much more dangerous. They can maim or kill you. When knocked down to 0 health, roll a d66 on the critical injury table on page 100. So, I'm on page 100, and the reason why they say d66 is because you roll 2 different d6s. So I'm going to roll 2d6. The first one will be the tens place, and the second one will be the ones place. So, 32. Let's see what 32 happens for Rai. Okay. Oh no. She got a crotch hit. 1 point of damage at
Dear Lord.
1 point of damage at every roll for mobility in close combat. Healing time takes d6 damage. It's not fatal. So what this means now is that basically she's just critically injured.
Butters, you can't go around shooting people in the dick.
Reed, you can't go around shooting people. Yeah. So she hasn't suffered a critical injury that's fatal. I believe if she gets another hit, she takes another critical injury. I believe that's how that works. Let's see here. Okay, so
Sorry, not to like make you go back on killing her.
no.
That would have been cool just to kill her off and
Oh, I think this is good
raise
to
the
explore the
stakes.
critical injuries and kind of make sure we got that going down. So, okay. Sorry, I got confused by a broken section under death and broken up here. Boom, okay. If you drop to 0 health, you are broken, in effect. Taken out of the action, immediately roll for a critical injury, which we did. If you're not dead, you can crawl and mumble through the pain. You can't perform any other actions and can't roll for any skills. You can't go below 0 health. Each further attack causes damage will give you another critical injury. So boom, yes. So yes, I like the idea that she is not currently dead, but she is at 0 HP and took a crotch hit, which is no bueno. So boom. And she is knocked down on the floor right now. So, all right.
The only other question I have, I'm sorry, Justin, before you go, because this could matter. Were we supposed to add a stress because we were attacked by a crew member? Like, does this count?
this does count as being being attacked by a crew member. So boom, yes.
So.
I would argue that Wilson is not currently in the room, so Wilson does not add a stress die. He may hear the sounds
Thing
of
is-
gunfire.
He is hearing. Everybody outside is hearing all this stuff.
Yeah.
But-
It's just
So how do we roll stress again? We just
it should
Oh,
be
so
added it'll be added to stuff automatically.
Yeah, you don't have to
Oh,
roll
shit.
stress. You just have to add it to your stress currently. It just is going to put your stress level up.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
It just makes it's important to keep the stress accurate because it makes you more likely to succeed on things, and also, in case you panic.
Okay. Well, I clicked it twice, but my first roll was keeping it together.
You didn't need to roll the stress. You need to
Okay.
add 1 to your stress.
Okay. All right. Well, I did that anyway. It's not my stress is at 3.
So, Christian, is Wilson doing anything outside right now? Because you are in turn order right now.
Well, the problem is that Wilson is not very good with hand-to-hand fighting,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have a weapon. So, and she has a shotgun, which, prior knowledge, it sounds crazy in there. I think Wilson is going to use slow action to use their signature item to reduce stress.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, if there is a console like where nearby where I kind of just like, because my signature item is the access key card. So I don't know if it's just me kind of like flipping it around or accessing a console nearby just for flavor. But that's what we're doing.
Cool. Perfect. All right.
So that'll reduce 1 stress. And then as a fast action, there aren't any weapons around that I can see, right?
I think. Let's see here. I can read you the equipment of everybody who's around you. So
I don't know. Can I just take...
John's has a M4A3 pistol. Seems like he has some ammo. And let's see here. Flynn does not have any weapons. He has a med kit and a surgery kit, it looks like. And Clayton, sorry, has also a pistol with some ammo. So you're the only one unarmed, it seems. You and Flynn.
Yeah, I can't, as a fast action, like take their weapon or something.
I don't. Let's see.
Like I can pick up an item, but like that's not.
I would argue that if you go, hey, can I have your gun? As long as they're willing to give it, I think you can take it from them. So who are you asking for their gun? The Captain
That would be a
Johns?
persuasion act.
Or-
That's a slow action, right? Is to persuade somebody. I feel like I'd have to persuade them.
Depends on who it is, I would argue.
Well, I would be asking John's the
John's?
captain right next to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I would argue then, since you're asking John's, who is this nervous, shaky guy,
Or like,
he willingly hands over his pistol to you. He kind of like looks down, looks at you, and just shakily hands it, like turns it around and hands it to you.
okay.
No persuasion necessary.
And then that'd be considered my fast action.
Cool. Perfect.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's me.
All right. Now, Captain Miller.
Okay. So I'm going to use a fast action to aim, and I'm going to shoot Reed in the head.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead.
Okay, so that will be a ranged combat attack, and I add 1 to that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, 2 successes.
Oh. But also,
I panic.
You panic. So
I don't.
panic doesn't necessarily mean that you don't do it, but
Bullshit.
it does mean that something bad happens. So panic roll. Let's see here. Yes. So you rolled that. Let's see here.
Like, why did I panic? What is like? Why I'm not panicking? Why did I panic?
So because your stress dice, one of them rolled a 1, the face hugger. It means that you have to make a panic roll. I believe it's immediate, but it doesn't necessarily stop what you're doing.
And it also doesn't necessarily mean that you do panic. It just means that now there is an opportunity, like a chance that you do.
Because what this is you just roll 1d6 and you add your current panic level, which I think is 3 currently. And if you get a result between 1 and 6, you keep it together and nothing else happens. But if it goes above that, something else can happen.
Okay. So, do I need to roll stress then now?
Yes. Or, yes. Boom.
God damn it.
All right, so you start to tremble uncontrollably. All skill rolls using agility suffer a -2 modification until your panic stops. But from my understanding, that's in the future. So you still get your shot off. So what is the damage your pistol does when you get a success?
It does. Let's see. It says +1 bonus, damage 1.
Cool. So it sounds like it does 1 damage, but since you rolled another success, you can stunt, and essentially you can add on an extra damage if you wanted to.
How much damage was done earlier?
3.
Okay. Yeah, I can't remember if we said she had 4 or 5 health.
I mean, I think that if you can add more damage to the number of damage, that's probably the best thing to do.
Let's do. So what does bonus do on like weapons? What is that +1?
I can try to find what that means.
It means you roll with an extra dice.
Oh.
Like, for example, the shotgun that
so should I have added an extra die?
Probably.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well,
the shotgun that Reed is using has a +2 bonus.
oh, well, doesn't matter. It's not a 6. Okay. Well. Okay. So 2 damage total.
Okay, great. Well, that's how much health Reed has. And I'm going to say that Reed is not a major NPC. So, Justin, would you describe how Captain Miller remedies the situation?
She sees her just lay in. She sees Reed just lay into her crewperson with the shotgun blast, and just bam, right in the side of the head, takes her out.
Yeah.
And she just slumps to the ground. Or I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happens. Gets her in the head. That's what happens, because that's where she was aiming.
Yep. Well, yeah. So Reed slumps
headbursters and such.
Reed slumps over, falls into like a bloody mess on the floor. We're out of combat now. Among the mold and trash that is scattered about. Maybe as Captain Miller and Cham kind of like the adrenaline starts to fade, you hear Rye cry on the ground like, "She shot me in the fucking crotch, man."
Yeah, let's hurry up and get everybody into the bridge. We should get out of here after causing so much noise.
Yeah. Okay, so let's help carry What's her name?
Right.
Yeah, I got her, and I kind of
Right.
like put her over my shoulder.
You can do so.
All right. I'm going to take the shotgun.
That's smart.
She doesn't have anything else on her, right?
No, and the shotgun, I believe, has 2 reloads. If you want to mark that, let me double check.
Cool.
Yeah, she just had the shotgun with 2 reloads. So there you go.
Awesome. So I have a shotgun now. Okay, cool. Let's make our way. And I am panicking. I'm trembling as we walk out of this thing because I just killed some random person
Yep.
and watched a member of my crew probably get mortally wounded. She just got shot in the crotch with a shotgun.
Yeah.
That's probably there's a whole lot of vital stuff. There's a whole lot of vital stuff around that area. Actually, a lot of big time veins and stuff.
Yeah.
So she's bleeding out. I'm panicking. I don't know how to stop panicking.
So, funny you mentioned that.
panicking.
On page 104, you can stop panic for 3 different ways. Another character comes to your aid and makes a command roll, which is what we were describing before earlier, basically a successful command roll against you. You are broken, or 1 turn passes, which is 5 to 10 minutes. So,
Okay, so either 1 turn passes, I make a command. I command myself to stop panicking.
Somebody else
sure,
does.
if you can command, yeah, I think it has to be somebody else.
Oh. And then what was the first option?
The first option is you become broken, which is you go to 0 HP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really an option.
No.
Okay, so I guess I'll just continue to panic for the time being, unless the captain snaps me out of it. Yeah. All right. So I'm picking up the shotgun, twitching, trembling.
Yeah.
And we're heading to the thing. I'm guessing.
Yeah, go
Nothing.
ahead and move you guys.
Oh, did anything burst out of her skull?
If you take the time to kind of like look, it will take a turn to kind of like stay there and kind of see if anything's happening. You can do so.
You know what? Why not? I gotta kill a turn anyway.
Okay.
Hold on. I want to make sure we don't have any surprises, and I ready the shotgun at her head.
Understandable.
So basically, you take the shotgun off her body. You kind of like both you and Cham pick up Rye, and you're just like, hold on, let's watch. And you just point the shotgun.
Yeah, we're just holding there, and I'm
like,
I guess one-handing the shotgun.
I like to think that as you guys are kind of like watching Reed's dead body, and Ava, who's still over there in the corner, slumped over, arm twitching a bit, you probably hear Clayton call out from the hallway, like, "What the fuck is going on in there?"
I say politely that we should please not make as much noise as possible. And I will explain in a second.
She probably then turns to Wilson and Johns and goes, "What the fuck? What are they doing?"
So they did not hear her freak out.
They didn't hear the freak out and the shotgun ensued. Like there was a shotgun blast and then a 9mm blap. I don't know if your bolt gun makes noise.
Probably.
It's probably the loudest.
Yeah, I would assume it's the loudest of them.
Yeah, okay. So there's mechanical, there's like heavy machinery going off, then a shotgun blast, then a 9mm blast, and then there's some silence.
Yeah. So everybody waits a turn to see what happens. Reed remains motionless, dead on the ground. Nothing seems to be bursting out of her like you saw with the horrible scene with Dr. Cooper. And Ava seems to just, once again, every once in a while, just do a little twitch. So.
Okay, so that's a turn. I'm no longer panicking. we come out of the thing. I guess they see Rye just bleeding
Yep,
profusely from the crotch.
Yeah. So I like to think that now you guys are probably shuffling, like up to the bridge and everything like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So second turn has passed. I like to think at this moment everybody who's down here starts to follow you guys because you're like hurriedly like moving up to the bridge.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and move Clayton, John's, and everybody else. So
I mean, we can probably make room in that hallway since. Oh wait, so we were there, so we should be here. Spencer.
Yeah, we have not scanned, but
Yeah, you should
from
probably
that
scan.
hallway up,
John. Johns, you should probably scan.
Wilson still has the scanner.
So let's
Wilson, yeah.
let's back up, Spencer. I think you moved too far.
Rye. So Rye's right here.
I believe so.
Cool.
Because we were in the mess hall. Leaving the mess hall
so
was
1, 2. Yeah.
2. And I'm not sure. I think that's Miller. Is one zone too far?
Mm-hmm.
Justin?
Huh. Is Miller one zone too far?
Yeah.
Okay. So there we go.
So I guess
Oh,
we're
man.
back in stealth mode at this point.
Back in
I
stealth.
guess so.
Okay.
John is going to once again scan the reaching up to what I would say probably would be like at least half of the bridge, like to the hollow display table. It's 4 zones, so I don't know. It's a little, however you would say that, game mother.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to roll for power there, and we do not lose any power once again.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. From everything you can see around you, up to the 4 zones, like we said, there is no movement other than from the mess hall that you see faintly, that you know is Ava.
How wide is this? Because this is is actually a cone, right? In the universe, at least that's what the display shows.
Yeah, I like to imagine that because you're making a power supply roll, like you're able to get a full 360 view. Because like even in like, let's take Alien Isolation for example, even though it has that cone, it does have a little marker that shows if something is in a different direction. So I like to think that if you're looking in a different direction and you see like a little marker, you would turn around and see where it's at. Mm-hmm. So I'm considering this that you can see all four rooms in each direction, and currently there is no movement other than the Ava in mess hall. So
yeah, so from Wilson up, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right.
Okay. I guess nothing else.
Nope.
Turn then.
You guys can go ahead and take another turn.
Wait, so let's make it
Which
into
moves you into the bridge, yeah.
Yeah, into the bridge.
Cool.
Wait, so we didn't have any movement?
No.
Oh,
Other than
shit.
Ava.
I don't think that's a bad thing, Captain.
Well, where the fuck is Davis? Davis should be showing up on this movement.
I think that you might have higher hopes for Davis's survival than I do.
So yeah, everybody makes it here. So I like to think at this moment, Flynn sees how badly injured Rye is and starts kind of tending to her. Unfortunately, how it looks like healing works is that she got a critical injury, 32. It takes D6 days. So I can go ahead and roll that. 1 day. So actually, sounds like it didn't hurt that bad. So, but the thing is, how this works is that each critical injury has a special effect. This is on page 101 under the healing tab. Essentially, if someone tends to you daily during the process of healing of a critical injury and makes a medical aid roll, the remaining healing time is reduced by half. Any earlier roll to save your life does not count towards this. A new roll is required to reduce the healing time. So, yeah, we can go ahead and I'll make a medical aid roll to see how Flynn kind of helps out, and maybe she'll recover in 12 hours, which would be, I think, 2 shifts as they describe it in Alien. However, she would have to recover health points differently. Now, he has like a med kit and stuff like that. I forget exactly how that works, but I can look that up. But let me go ahead and describe what the bridge looks like while all of this is happening, and then you guys can kind of make decisions on what you want to do from here. So,
let's say, sorry.
No, it's all right. Basically, so as soon as you walk into here, the blast shutters are closed, but it seems that like as the lights kind of come on, like Mother senses you in here, the lights flicker on, and the blast shutters open up to kind of show just the empty expanse of space. The command station, as you kind of look here, the command station, which is up at the front, which probably maybe John's goes up to at first to kind of like check things out. He kind of looks up there, he kind of like starts flipping a few things, and he turns to all of you and says, "It works like a charm." Let's see here. Yeah. He's just kind of looking around and kind of, yeah, just making normal command station stuff. Let's see here. Let's see here. The holographic table display that is in the center, it's right here. It seems to be slagged, burnt out by a fire that was on the bridge earlier. It seems to be now damaged beyond repair. The sensor station, which is right over here to your left, seems to be also like the fire spread over to the sensor station. But it doesn't seem to be in bad as of a shape as the holo display. There's also life support monitors. Let's see here. And they're just currently flashing that the carbon dioxide content in the ship's recycled air is very high, and it's just flashing a little warning symbol that's like danger. Maintenance needs to be performed on air scrubbers. Danger. So, let's see here. And then there's pilot stations. Obviously, Pilot Station 1, Pilot Station 2. Unfortunately, it looks like there is an axe embedded in Station 1, as if somebody just went to the console and started hacking at it. While Station 2 seems to be untouched, it has no lights that are currently active on it. It seems to be just completely out of power. So, which is odd since everything else in the bridge seems to be powered up and working just fine. So, yeah. That's currently what the bridge looks like as all of this is happening. So, yeah.
Okay. We have to fix the ventilation first, right?
That's probably a good priority to have. Yeah, let us all breathe.
So I'm gonna run diagnostics from the command station. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can start doing so. Kind of like you. One of the things you notice, you probably join Captain John's at the bridge at the command station. As you approach there to kind of run diagnostics, you notice that basically located under a flip-up panel, access panel on one of the treadmill arms of the captain station is a small compartment that houses Mother's 2000 emergency access key. The glass panel that typically lies behind is shattered, and the key is missing. Yeah. So you kind of like access that and start running diagnostics, and you notice that much like what Johns was saying before, it seems that the comms array is out, the engines are offline, and the air scrubbers obviously are pumping out carbon dioxide. As you kind of like start to kind of do diagnostics, you notice that the reactor control room seems to be kind of like flashing some warning lights, so you might have to go into there and start to kind of see, maybe clean it up or see what's kind of going on in there. However, it does appear that the engines need some external repairs as other warning lights flash across your screen. The comm array looks like the only thing you really need to do, other than maybe is just, it will require probably a spacewalk to get out there and perform some work. So, and then the air scrubbers also appears it just needs some work on it, which it looks like Mother puts up an estimated time to repair those air scrubbers of, let's see here, replace or cleaned. It's probably going to take a shift of work and a heavy machinery roll to fix the air scrubbers, is what Mother says. So yeah.
All right.
The engines in the comm array probably just take some about like 3 or 4 turns of work. So a shift of work for the air scrubbers, 3 to 4 turns for the engines, and comm array.
Great. All right. So, first things first. Reactor. Oh, we gotta. Fuck, spacewalk. Where do we have to go out to do the spacewalk? Where would we do that?
Well, the comms array, if you look at Deck A, it's probably going to be right above where the bridge is. So Deck A, which is to the left of all of you guys. Imagine like the very top part of like the ship, above the bridge and above where Mother 2000 is. Yeah, that's where you'll have to do the spacewalk for that. The engines are going to be probably down here. So you'd be making your way across on Deck B to engine pod 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's why I'm saying, like, it looks like mainly you'll have to do extensive work on pod 4. It seems like that's where all of the destruction is at. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess first things first. Let's get more weapons. Shem, you're with me. Shem, you're with me.
Oh wait.
We're gonna go to vestibule 1 and check that out.
Okay. While the captain was like doing those diagnostics and figuring everything out, I would like to explain to everybody else what happened in the room if it wasn't clear to them that the Marine freaked out when she saw an android and appeared to have symptoms of the whatever organism in her brain. And when she went to fire at us, we defended ourselves.
She took the inoculation too, right? She was inoculated.
She said she did.
You see a look of horror come over the faces of the crew of the Cronus. As you kind of described maybe how she was reacting, how she was doing that, Flynn goes, I thought it worked on her. We all of us seem to be doing just fine. He gestures at everybody else, including Clayton and Johns. You
mean like the other guy who had his head explode?
No, that was because he didn't take the inoculation. What you did describe is the potential.
I mean, it was similar, but it was different, right? Like the first thing we saw came out of their chest. This like seemed like someone was crawling around in her head.
Yes, yes. Flynn says as he points to Cham.
Hey, don't agree with me.
The bloodbuster, I don't have a better name, but that thing that came out of Cooper, that's if you are not inoculated, but several of the other crew members that were, they weren't affected by the moats, but they turned into these creatures. Sounded like Raid was in the early stages of that. Look, I told you that it mostly works, but I'm telling you, those moats, those fungal, it's way worse to be exposed to that than the cure.
For now, I mean, like our compression suits are keeping us isolated, so we'll understand. We have doses of it if we need to if we need to take the compression suit off.
He nods.
Unfortunately, it looks like John is running out of air.
Yeah, getting low.
But I mean, in
it-
vestibule 2, it looks like there might be suits, or like can they be recharged?
They definitely can be. Not on the current air supply, because it's so heavy in the carbon dioxide. We might have been doing it a little bit wrong earlier, because the carbon dioxide is supposed to impose a -2 to all agility checks until the air scrubbers are full. Oh no, it's just stamina rolls. Sorry, stamina rolls. Which we didn't. We're not performing stamina rolls right now, so we're okay. Sorry, but anyways, that's just something to keep in mind until that happens. I would say yes. Once you get the air scrubbers online and working, you could easily just recharge your suits by like letting in the air and such. So
I would say that I think for air, we have to roll every turn and after combat or like a mobility roll, something strenuous.
And it does seem like
so-
the doctor is agreeing with the idea that the compression suits probably isolate us from the spores, right?
yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's first priority then. Let's try to get the air scrubbers cleaned up and working. Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. GM, how would we go about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the air scrubbers, it is a central shaft in the center of the ship, and I like to think like running diagnostics, having the ship layout, and like even conversing with like Captain Johns, like you would easily understand this. The air scrubbers shaft, they inform you, runs from all the way from deck A all the way to deck C. Let me describe it in detail. As kind of like they kind of recall to you what the air scrubber shaft. It's a large shaft that is accessible via the ventilation and maintenance shafts. When operational, massive carbon filters clean the air pollutants while churning machines electrolyze the water and generate oxygen. Essentially, imagine this like long shaft that goes all the way to the bottom, and at deck C at the very bottom, there's water at the bottom that like is electrocuted, and like that's how they get pure oxygen. Let's see here. They describe that the whole shaft as it's just condensation just accumulates at the top of the shaft, and there's like constantly dripping water and like rain and such essentially in there. He mentions that the shaft is probably dark if it's not properly running at the moment. So to probably bring some like flashlights or something to illuminate the area. Let's see here. He says that since the bottom chamber gets electrocuted when it's like running properly, which it probably is right now, do not touch the water. Obviously.
I want to touch the water. You can't tell me what to do.
For the most part, he says that it should just be fine as long as you guys clean them. It should be okay. Like it should get everything up and running. It's probably just because of the decades they've been out of commission that's why it's probably in poor condition. He says it's probably going to require a shift of work, and me as the GM is telling you it's going to take a heavy machinery roll to fix them once you guys are inside.
To clean them, you mean?
Yes, correct.
Well, I mean that's as much as my specialty as anything. So, how do I get inside?
Yeah,
Where do
they
I
they
go?
mention, so if we're looking at, like, let's say either deck, uh at any of the decks, you can just kind of like navigate to the side of it in one of these hallways. Like, say we're on deck B, one of these hallways,
Mhm.
we can say that you just like navigate into the ventilation shaft, which is what these dotted lines are right here, and work your way into the shaft. However, also, as they are talking about this, Clayton actually approaches all of you and goes, "Hey, you mentioned that Ava was back there. If we can repair her, she could help us. If there's any more creatures or anything on this board, she could protect us from these things."
Do you have specialty or knowledge of that?
Me? No, I don't. Somebody who's good with tech, though, I'm sure.
Let he with the knowledge to repair the android please raise their hand. Or she. Sorry.
Where's she?
Yeah, yeah. Here's the thing: you shot my engineer. That asshole
Is Rye the one who would have been able
Marine
to?
shot my tech person.
She has
Oh,
a
yeah.
contact
They're
of
currently
3.
Yeah. she is.
bleeding out of her groin on the floor over there. So maybe, Doc, you want to make yourself kind of useful and make with the stitchy stitch.
He is. He's doing it.
Yeah, he actually, funny enough, you mentioned that, Justin. I did roll for his.
Is he already?
Yeah,
doing
he's
that?
working on her. He actually says, well, good news on that front. I've been able to patch her up the best I could. Well, it's gonna take it won't take very much at all time to heal her up. And out of character, this means that he succeeded on his medical roll, so it's only gonna take 12 hours or 2 shifts in order to fix her, in order for her to be back up and running. And so she's doing okay. She can still interact with stuff. Flynn then says, like, if we want her to repair the Ava, maybe we bring Ava in here.
Getting to Ava. Shinji.
So Wilson asks Clayton. Well, he looks to Clayton, but says to everybody, "Is there anywhere we can store these samples safely? Something that's locked away, like a safe, or something that will hopefully potentially be saved if part of the ship something happens, so that we can keep this from getting damaged."
I guess here's probably the safest spot.
Yeah, I think that was a question to.
That was a question
NPCs.
to.
Oh, sorry. I was reading about how to heal. Could you say that one more
you're
time?
Basically, Wilson is asking Clayton, kind of like, since you have such great ideas, with Android and everything, do you know also if there's a safe or something we can keep these samples locked away in, just in case something happens, they're preserved for later?
I mean, we could storm away somewhere on the ship to keep them safe, but I think the bridge is as safe as we can, unless, I don't know, we could storm somewhere else. I don't know if everybody else wants to store it somewhere else, but at least it's easily accessible here.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of think keeping everything together is as good idea as any. So why don't we run to the armory, pick up some weapons, and then I'll go clean the air scrubbers while you guys watch my back. How does that sound, everybody?
All right, that sounds good. I'll come with you.
Cool. So just to let you guys know, I rolled for first aid and for like a medical roll. So first aid is just a medicine aid skill, which I rolled for Flynn and everything. And so essentially, when you're broken, in order to get back up, somebody has to perform first aid on you, and you regain as much health as there are a number of successes. If you and so he was able to get Rye to 2 health, but then succeeded on the roll to reduce her broken injury to half. So she's up and at him, but she's not going to get rid of her critical injury until two shifts have passed, basically 12 hours. So that's how Rye's looking right now, just to let everybody else know. I'm reading. I'm trying to... Yes, on page 98, it says that you recover 1 point of lost health per turn of rest. So each turn that she rests there, she'll get 1 point of health back. So she's at 2 right now. Her max is 4. So if she spends 2 more turns resting, she'll be back up at full health. But she still is critically injured, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, anyways, continue on, Dalton. So it sounds like, yeah.
I think we direct everybody to stick around here. We go back into stealth mode. Do I think I need to like get any sort of equipment or anything to clean up the air scrubbers, or is there anything that I may or may not need to accomplish that task?
I don't think so. I think everything you kind of need, you would normally have on you and everything. I don't think you need to go to any particular place to go and fix up the air scrubbers. I think you're good.
Okay. Other question then is recharging the motion detector. Is that on the table
Can we plug
somehow?
it in?
As far as I'm aware, no.
Okay.
Where's the ox? Where the ox, bro?
I think you have to find like a power supply item specifically.
Okay.
No, we might. There's a storage container in vestibule 2. We might be able to get some more supplies there as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's see here. So first, let's just... Captain, do you want to do that or weapons?
Well, we can do. So vestibule 1's right there. Weapons are there, and then the storage are literally across from the weapons. Sheds.
I'll just go to the air scrubbers and start cleaning if you want to start collecting things.
Well, why don't we just pop here and then we can go to the air scrubbers right after. Let's get you something better than some brutal construction equipment.
Spencer says I don't need anything else to clean the air scrubbers. He said that I have the equipment I would need to accomplish that task.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I'll meet you over there then. I'll meet you.
Okay. So I'll go this zone and then this zone, Spencer.
Sounds good. Yep, you're just making your way to probably like this air shaft to kind of get into the air scrubbers, right?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, and
anybody else can do. Did anything happen when I guess everybody else should probably make their moves if they want to.
Are you taking the movement monitor?
No.
The motion tracker?
Yeah.
I can go with them.
Great. All right. You two go. Make sure that keep that thing on. Make sure you don't run into any surprises. All right. And I'm going to head to vestibule 1. All right. You guys are coming that way, and then I will go off here.
All right. Anything you need us to do next now, Spencer, or are we good to start the next turn?
Flynn and Clayton are following along with you guys, just behind. And yeah, John's is staying at the bridge, and I think Rye, is resting in the bridge as well because she has an injury. So
When you say you guys, do you mean uh me and
yes,
Wilson?
you and Wilson, yeah.
Can we tell them to go with the captain instead because it'd probably be better for them to go with him?
You don't need any backup. You'll be okay.
Yeah, I can handle cleaning. I'm decent at
Flip.
that. Probably you're better be served getting as much supplies together as possible.
She kind of nods and then turns back around to Flynn and motions him to go back to the bridge. So that's where they head.
Uh, I didn't say go back to the bridge. Sorry.
Oh,
I
would you?
said
Oh, with the captain. So
Yeah.
Investible 1. Sorry. All right, they do so.
okay. Anything else on this turn?
Nope,
Okay.
that should be all. So
Enter this hallway,
cool.
and then is it
You
just
do
another zone movement to get into the shaft?
Into the exactly. I would count it as like this is you getting to the shaft, and you're good to go. So, well, actually, you probably go into the vents first, and then next turn make it to the shaft, if that makes sense. But real quick, so for Vestibule 1, let me kind of describe what Justin sees, because this is kind of like your turn, kind of like investigating the area and everything. You can still make it to the vents, Dalton. And then I also want to know if Wilson's doing what Wilson is up to as well, if he's just following along. But yeah, so let's see here. Adjacent to B1 are 2 bays for Class A individual escape pods and better in the outer hall wall. As you kind of search through here, you notice that, let's see here. Most of all of the escape pods are missing. So just as kind of like John said before, Captain John's, it seems to be just empty. Yeah, you are on the armory side. So as you step in here, it's almost stripped bare. The only thing that it has in here is a single Wayland Storm Rifle, which uses the same stats as the M41A Pulse Rifle, but heavy. So, and it has only 1 reload. However, as a bonus, there's a case of shotgun shells on the floor, which is 1 more reload. So add another reload to your shotgun, Justin.
All right. Yay!
Aside from a splatter of dried milky white spray on the wall, the room seems to be clean. The spray is synthetic blood. You could imagine it's probably left there from Ava after she probably got into a fight. However, there's one more thing in the room with all of you. So I like to imagine you're like picking up like the shotgun shells. And as you look up, you see the slumped over headless body of a man in a spacesuit. There's a splatter of blood and brain matter on the wall behind him. You see in his hands another a model 37A2 shotgun that lies next to him. As you kind of like look over, you kind of see that he doesn't seem to be normal. His arms seem to be a little too long and have stretched his compression suit until it has torn at the forearm. So even this suit doesn't work work the same anymore. At this site, go ahead and increase your stress level by +1. And so yeah, the shotgun that he currently has does not have any ammo with it, but that's what you see.
Does it use different ammo?
No, it uses the same.
So this is just a better shotgun.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Arma M41A pulse rifle is what I found, right?
You found that, and then you found a model 37A2 shotgun.
Okay, cool. Picking this stuff up.
while you're doing all that and getting that in order, let's go ahead and go back to Cham and Wilson. So Wilson, you're moving up to probably right outside the vents where Cham's at, right?
I'm about to, but essentially after they have that conversation, or I'm assuming Cham kind of went away after you said that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna follow back them or tell them that I need them to come with me here. We're gonna go down there and scan, and then we can loop around to the mess hall. But I want to go down for the scan from further down. That was something that we haven't scanned in a while.
Okay. So yeah. All right, and then go ahead and move your 2 zones.
So it's here, right? So
Yeah.
one. So
Yep, you make
that's
it
1,
like
2.
in here. Yeah.
Like okay.
And then you're using the motion tracker, right?
Yeah. So I guess from
Cool.
here down. So like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, to the science lab, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly.
Yeah. Funny enough, you see movement on the motion tracker. You see movement kind of start right here where I'm pinging in the science sector. And then you see it move closer to the east side of the ship before it disappears. Did you guys see what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
How the movement did? Okay. So that's what you see. Yeah, so you get that. And I like to think this turn is all happening at the same time. So Dalton, if you didn't want Cham to enter the vent after Wilson like has the motion tracker on and goes, "Oh, I got movement" or something, you could do that. But if you want to just continue like normal, you can do so. So
I'm good.
cool. All right. But yeah, that's what you see. So if everybody's good with that, the next turn starts.
Okay.
How long is a shift?
A shift is, you can imagine that the day is split into 4 different shifts. So there's morning, I think it's midday or lunch, evening, and night.
Okay.
So,
Hey,
like,
Spencer, did you say that the rifle I found was the heavy or the regular pulse rifle?
it's a pulse rifle, but it has the modifier of being heavy. So it's an M4 1A pulse rifle, but with the trait heavy.
It's the regular rifle, but is heavy.
Yes.
What does the heavy trait mean?
That's a good question. I can look that up. I found heavy weapons. Let's see here.
Yeah, because there's a heavy Armot M4 1A pulse rifle, which does more damage.
Yeah. I don't think it's that one. I think it's specifically the model that I said before, just because it's actually a Wayland Storm rifle, but it says its stats like the M4 1A pulse rifle, but heavy. So it's basically an antique gun because of how old it is.
Like, does it just literally mean it's actually heavier than normal? It's like a weight 2, asking for encumbrance.
Yeah, it looks like literally it's what you described. A heavy weapon just counts as 2 regular items, typically takes up 2 rows on your character sheet. I think that's what that means.
Okay.
So, with that, yeah, on the next turn, basically, yes, Dalton, your character's Cham, enters into the air scrubber's shaft. So, upon entering there, a lot of the same things I described to you are the same as before. So it's a large shaft accessible via the ventilation and maintenance shafts. You can see that it's operational right now. So these massive carbon filters are like in there, just kind of humming and rumbling, which is so loud in here now that it's active. Like, you heard how loud it was when every time you passed by here before, and it is just rumbling. However, it seems to be just like, yeah. you're in the middle of it, so you can look up and see where the condensation, the water kind of drips down from the top, and at the bottom you see the pool of water with like the electrocution kind of going through.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell that like while everything seems to be working and running, clearly the just looking at the air scrubbers, they are caked with decades of grime and mold. So you're going to have to get in there and start cleaning them up in order to have them start working properly. So that's a shift of work and a successful heavy machinery roll. And if you choose to do that, I do kind of want to ask, are you going straight into it? Kind of like, what's your approach in doing this? Like, how are you kind of doing this?
I'm not really sure how to answer, and just
Sure.
the way that my character would do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can't. I don't really have like a chimney sweep manual or whatever.
No, that's okay. Here's a better way that we'll do this then. Can you give me an observation roll?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So no successes from that. So do you want to accept the roll as is, or would you like to push it?
No.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I can't
Okay.
just make the heavy machinery roll to do my job.
You can do so. Go ahead and make that roll.
Okay. So, 2 successes, 1 panic, so I have to make a panic roll,
Oh boy.
but I'm fine.
Keep it together. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, Cham, you are going to be in there for a while. So you are just kind of keep working on it and kind of doing your thing. That takes a shift. So you're doing that. I guess what is Wilson and Captain Miller doing currently?
Captain Miller. And then -1 AGI. Okay. Captain Miller is writing down her shit. Okay. Captain Miller has written down her shit.
Nice.
And oh yeah, can Captain Miller like check the storage for extra batteries or anything? Can we check these storage units? Did we already do that?
I think you already did that. There's nothing more in there.
All right. I will go with the.
You can check the other side, vestibule 2, if you want to do that.
You guys are doing that? Yeah, I might as well, right?
Mm-hmm. All right. So that takes some time to go over there. While you're making your way over there, Wilson, what are you doing?
I guess we're in turn order, right?
Yep.
Still, we're in turns.
Yep.
I guess I can. I've already scanned this here. I'm gonna just use my key card. So I imagine, I don't know, we're next to a suite here. I'm just gonna use my key card or whatever to just like swipe it or whatever to remove stress.
Sounds good. Cool. And that's the first time you're doing it this turn? I wasn't sure if you used it. Or sorry, this act, because you can only do that
sorry,
once
it's per act.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Is the door open already?
For in here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start making your way in there.
Well, I guess we're just gonna hang out around here for a bit. I guess we are still waiting on Cham there. Idea was to scan here and then go around. So
I like to imagine you're probably like keeping watch, right? Like you're just making sure that like you saw some movement on the radar, and you're just making sure it's not coming back.
Yeah.
Right,
I want to
so-
just go in and make sure this room's clear,
Okay.
and then we can come back out or whatever.
Sounds good.
But
Well.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I want to make sure everybody sticks together.
Yeah. Are you have your suit on this entire time, right?
Yeah. I probably should. I should definitely make another air roll.
Yeah. Same to you, Justin. If
yep.
Captain Miller is
Air roll.
wearing their suit.
Air roll time. Air roll time. Gonna do an air
Oh
roll.
fuck.
Well, I think it only goes down once, so you're down to 1 supply of air.
Oh, that's not
No,
good.
it's both. I believe.
It is? Oh, it does work that way.
I think it decreases for every one.
Really?
Well, for every one you roll, not every success you roll.
Yeah.
Let me find that.
This means rolling a number equal to the supply right
You
now.
rolled a success. Sorry. No, then yeah, you're good. Your supply stays as is, right? So.
Oh,
Whereas
those
Justin,
those are successes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah.
yeah,
I'm
and so
good.
Justin got the face hugger, which is a 1, so therefore
Yeah.
his goes down to a 3 supply.
I'm
So no,
being
you're
silly.
good, Christian.
Being silly. Okay.
Cool, perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll come in here, I guess, and check it out.
All right, great. So something happens while Dalton's character Cham is working on the air scrubbers. Before you notice it, Cham, you're cleaning up these air scrubbers, getting them back to work, which I believe you got 2 successes on, right? I think you got more than 1, which means you can do an extra stunt, which means like gain a +1 modification roll to a later roll relating to this one. You got this. You don't need to roll to overcome the exact same challenge in the future. You do it quickly in half the time it would normally take. You break it permanently. You act quietly. You show off. So you could do any one of those if you wanted on top of that. I would say like if it's half the time, a shift is like 6 hours, right? So it'd be like 3 hours instead. So. But it's whatever you would like to do. And while you're deciding that, essentially, as you're working on these air scrubber shaft, you fail to notice that there are some fungal growths on these scrubbers, and so you probably notice it. But it's immediately after you're like cleaning something, you hit it, and it releases some motes into the air that seem to kind of swirl around and then disappear into the ship.
That's unfortunate.
Yes. You notice them now, so you can stop your work or continue to work, but you've already released some motes seemingly into the ship. So, and on that note, I think that's an excellent point to kind of leave off at the end of this session.
Sounds good.
Cool. So.
Okay. Oh, fucking no. The moats.
Yep. So, yeah. But I'm not sure if you wanted to complete the heavy machinery roll in like half the time, Dalton, or if there was something else you wanted to do differently. You can do so.
I'll let you know next week.
Okay, sounds good. Perfect. All right. Well, we're still in the middle of Act 2. We have a lot to. We have some repairs on the ship to do. So it sounds like it's going to take a little bit longer because after the air scrubbers are fixed, we have to work on the engines and then the comm station. So yeah, we got some fun stuff. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
We also have no idea what happened to Davis, the pilot, and we can assume that the Montero blew up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he's dead. I don't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she
did not make it out.
Yeah, she fucking
did not make it out.
exploded, dude.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Write her off.
How's everybody's thoughts and feelings? I know it's kind of like we had that quick kind of combat, a little bit more combat with Reed turning on the party and everything, and now it's kind of like evened out a bit after Rise recovering in the bridge and just trying not to bleed out from the shotgun blast. But yeah, how's everything feeling?
Yeah, good. It's good. This is a stressful game in a good way. But yeah, what is the star thing? What is the star icon?
All right.
Which one?
Captain's quarters. Captain's quarters. Oh, interesting. All right.
deck
Well,
do
I
you
know
see
what I
that?
want to.
Yeah.
It's by the living area stuff.
Ah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. There's that in there.
Mm.
Cool. All right.
Curious what it was that was moving down in the science sector. Probably an alien of some sort.
What? Who? It could just be another android.
No, it's definitely an alien. Stop lying, Spencer.
Also, I'm glad I'm getting the spores spread out. That's probably a good thing, right? That's
Yeah.
like build up our
That's
immunity.
probably awesome.
Perfect.
Yep.
It's just normal. It's
Yeah.
nice, good. Adding that nice umami flavor to the air.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everything's fine.
Slowly running out of air, and we're spreading spores around in the air.
Yep.
Yeah,
Great.
I mean, like,
We're all gonna die.
it's one or the other. It's like you suffocate or you breathe the spores. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
It's true.
Both are bad options.
Both are terrible
True.
options. Who knows? Maybe we'll have some more air once I get done searching Vestibule 2.
Yeah.
Like,
don't know what's
unless
going
somebody
on.
has got any, like, what do I do to spores?
Blow it up.
The blow up
Yeah,
the air
that is the,
supplier.
we could just go to the
Incinerate.
reactor core and blow the whole ship to hell.
Just incinerate everything.
Always an option.
Sounding like a better and better option.
Oh no, don't worry. Yeah, like the back pocket idea is just, unfortunately, we fucked up too bad, and we send all the data to, like, we get comms working, we
Yep.
upload the data to whatever network, and we blow the bitch up.
Send all my money to my family.
Yeah.
I'm sending this data to Channel 5, man.
Yeah.
The truth will be known.
Yeah, it's like the end. It's the end of Serenity. We upload to the global network. We publicly air it.
This is what's
Blow
going
up
on.
this stupid. Yeah, let everybody know what the hell this company's up to once and for all.
Yeah, like, sorry, I don't know what to tell you. The government tried to fucking mind control this whole planet, and it turned them into reavers. Sorry.
Yep.
Oh, perfect. Oh, it's great. Cool.
Is that an option? Like, are ships able to, like, be connected? Like, if we got comms up, is that just like internal comms on the ship, or is that like external?
You can't. They are external, so you could communicate to other things. I don't think they're not like long range communications, so you couldn't talk to, like, I think you're trying to get to, like, Sutter's Point. You couldn't, like, reach out to, like, Sutter's Point and be like, hey, like, this is what's going
This
on.
ship's full of aliens.
Yeah.
Don't come out here.
Arguably, like, there's probably a black box, but I'm not sure. I think if I remember correctly, at the end of Alien, like, there was no, like, black box or anything. It just blew everything up. So,
Not even that, like, I'm expected to, like, communicate back and forth, but, like, just blast information, like, outward.
you could do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible.
All right. Well, fellas, I got that hard stop. I got to head out.
Yeah, no,
Good.
we're good. I'm glad we didn't go over, and we hit the stopping point.
Yeah. Let me end it real quick. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time, where we kind of figure out how everybody's gonna react to maybe the moats flying about and, like, getting
We're
the
gonna
ship up
die.
and running. So
We're all going to die.
We're hermetically sealed in our compression suits. It's fine.
Yep, that's true. Keep on learning.